Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Abraham Perez, the Hammer, 14-0 pro fighting career, and what a great run.
Yeah, so far so good, no?
No, I tell you, I've watched your career. I mean, it's I can remember you taking me to work, taking my car in, and you take me down here to work,
Right.
and I pick my car back up when at the shop. But it's been just fun for me to watch you mature and grow and
Yeah.
but you do. But here's the thing, you just always think you know somebody until you start talking to them, and
Right.
in earlier today that I'd never realized that you started boxing so young. Talk about that.
Yeah. So we came from, a family of fighters.
Background, yeah.
Our background was mainly fighting, boxing specifically. I had 5 cousins that were boys, right? And my dad brought them in for training, and so they also had their amateur fights. My uncle, my youngest, or their youngest brother, they brought him in and they were training him. So it just kind of followed like that. And then it went from my brother, and then I ended up getting into it slowly. And yeah, from there on, we just kept on going.
It was very interesting that when you were younger you didn't like boxing. I mean, it wasn't like your number one passion. So.
Right. No, yeah, I liked more basketball. Yeah, it was something that I like to do a lot more than boxing. And of course, when you're young and you get hit, you're not expecting, it's different. It's a different feeling when you're young versus when you know what you're doing and you know what you want.
At what point did you decide that you could have the career that you have right now? I mean, because you were in the shadow of Angel, your brother,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
a little bit, and then you made a big hit with on the national scene with the
Right.
almost making it to the Olympics.
Right.
And I'm kind of biased. I think you should have made it to the Olympics,
Yeah.
but what do I know? So,
Right. Well, I think I should have made it to the Olympics too, but there's different paths, and I guess that wasn't my path. I guess the path was to get all that experience before I went pro. If the Olympics didn't fall in my laps the way it did, the way it was supposed to, I guess I'm okay with that.
Going back to let's just go back to your first, pro fight.
Right.
Okay. So kind of talk to me where your mindset was at that stage compared to where it is today.
So at that stage, I was actually not very happy with the first pro fight, because when I was an amateur and I was fighting internationally in Bulgaria, Spain, France, I was fighting against the top people in their own specific countries, people that they selected to represent Spain or Pakistan, India, places like that. So I was competing against high level athletes.
The best of the best
exactly.
in each country.
In each country, yeah. So whenever I had my pro debut, I really don't count it as my pro debut. I fought this guy who was also making his debut too, and whenever I fought him, it was completely different, because it seemed like I was going backwards, because the guy that I fought, he didn't have it didn't look like he had any experience at all in anything.
Didn't have the skill set.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
So.
Yeah, so it was dismotivating in the beginning. And then I had my second fight in Clovis or Hobbs, somewhere down over there.
That's where I'm from, Clovis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. And I was fighting under another promoter for School of Hard Knocks with Isidro Castillo. And I had another guy who was also making his debut, and it was the same thing. He didn't have the experience. He lacked the experience. And for me, for my experience being so high to competing with the experience of, I guess, not really, they've never been in a ring type of experience, it was very depleting on my confidence and my motivation. But as soon as I got my third fight, as soon as I finished those 2 fights, then I guess
So were you
my
second
pops.
guessing going pro at that time?
Yeah, I was. I was like,
because of the competition and
exactly.
also,
It felt like I was going backwards.
right.
Yeah, and but no, I guess once we got past those 2 fights, my dad saw it to be, you know, we got to get this guy back to where he's used to fighting at high levels of athletes, you know. So by the 3rd fight going forward, they've been nothing but good fights.
You know, and you don't have to speak on this, but you know, boxing is more of it's timing, psychology. You know, because you don't want to have a big time fight too quick early in your career, and then you don't want to. You know, just like you said, you're maybe fighting a lesser component just because it's training you to get better down the future.
Yeah, maybe it was to just get the feeling of the 8-ounce gloves and going in the extra round, because in Europe, I was fighting without a headgear with 10 ounces, and that was amateurs, you know, minus one extra round. So it was only 3 minutes, 3 rounds. Get your stuff, get in, get out, score, and you know, just outpoint, dominate the opponent.
And that brings up a great subject to me is in Olympics boxing is points is how they score. Okay, it's not so much the knockout. I mean, the knockout helps, but I'm just saying. But when you're fighting, people are looking for points.
Right.
Whereas in when you're in pro boxing, people are looking out for the knockout punch. So that's what they get excited about.
Yeah, really. Yep. And I guess that kind of taught me the meaning of hit and don't get hit, score your points, get in, get out, you know, cut those angles, don't let them catch it, don't let them corner you, just do your thing. So that definitely went with me going into the pro scene. And unfortunately for my weight, it's harder to get those knockouts. So it's more about ring generalship also, and dominating, who's in control of the pace of the action.
Well, we're going to get back to your fight this 2 weeks ago, but we're going to go to the Everguard Roofing and Solar Top 10 Plays of the Week and come back and talk more about boxing.
Outside edge, strike 3, Blomker. Got Feist for the 2nd time today. Trevin Polanco makes him wave at it. And he's got him, strikes out the side. Both sides called it a single, okay. And Del Angel punishes them. The big bat flip from Anthony Del Angel as the Storm have cracked this game open. It's a 3-run shot, 1 pitch, 1 result. Anthony Del Angel makes it 4-0 Cleveland Storm.
As Salazar delivers in a high drive deep into left field, carrying back Apotaco. Home run for Dean Ellison, and it is 9-1 Rio Rancho.
That one sent down the middle, Burdett. That one gone. Everett Burdett slamming that one. He'll walk his way home.
And he will blast that to left field. It's heading, kiss it goodbye. Joaquin Aragon opens up this game with a ripper.
Setting up outside, pitch delivered, and it's a line drive. Heading into the left center gap, that'll be trouble. Ellison grounding first, going towards second. 1-run scores. Here comes another. 3rd run round the plate, and no throw at home. And it's a 3 RBI double for Dean Ellison.
knocked up to second and gloved out of the sky. Anthony Hernandez has it.
Blanca, another bouncer. Can they get two? They do. Chases it to first. He is not safe. Goddard gets out. Anthony Del Angel, the OU commit, to lead off. And right away, he gets a hold of it. Is it gone? It's gone! Anthony Del Angel, first pitch of the game, smacks it out here in the City of Vision.
Out to right field, and Cleveland are back in the lead. 2 runs will score. It's an RBI single. Ben Herman puts across 2.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Abraham Perez here, and 14-0 Intercontinental Flyweight champion. How's that sound?
Sounds
IBF,
good.
IBF.
Right.
And I'm getting it all put together.
There you go.
But you worked hard. I mean, you think about it. Your family has been unbelievable supporters, and talk about your new one. Your new loved one there.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yep. So, speaking of her, we're having a baby coming on the way. So she's gonna be due in August. So we're very excited to welcome in the new baby into our lives.
Well, I tell you, that's exciting. Do you know what gender it is yet?
Yes, it is a girl.
It's a girl.
Yeah,
All right,
it's a girl. Yep.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, I'm sure everybody's excited about this. So.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, especially it being another girl, because we already have 2 girls and 1 boy. So I have a nephew and 2 nieces. 1 niece and another niece on the way. So it's exciting.
Very, very exciting. I mean, it's amazing. Time flies by, and
Right?
everybody grows up, I guess. So,
Yeah.
But going into this fight, I always like to talk to you in your preparation of it, and kind of speak on your preparation of this fight versus the fight before.
Right.
Is it still similar, or do you?
It's still similar. The support's even stronger, especially with my spouse, being that she's come from a wrestling background. She's a coach for wrestling and stuff like that, so she knows what it is to get on a diet and get into the regimen of a camp and to just stay focused. So she's supported every single fight thus far. I believe I've already had 4 fights with her. And so she's been great. The method is still the same.
Just 4 fights in the ring. Right?
Yeah. Oh, man. Not in the bedroom. Goodness, no. No, but the preparation has still been the same. Of course, with every fight, there's different fighters, and every fighter has their different styles. So we work with that with my coach when we're training. So that's the only thing that's different, is working different techniques.
Going into this, I saw the fight. I didn't get to see the fight. I had some health issues, and I actually couldn't make it. But yesterday, I spent the whole afternoon kind of breaking the fight down and watching, and your performance, I mean, might have been flawless. I mean,
Yeah.
all the way through the whole fight. I mean, as far as you stuck with your plan, and you had a plan
Right.
going into that fight. Speak on that behalf.
So this was the first time that I've actually watched one of my fighters. I studied him before going into the ring. Normally,
Oh, then that showed. I
Yeah.
mean, it definitely showed on this thing.
right? Yeah. So it definitely played a big role into what I was expecting to get into. But like I said, every fight is different, and so with the video that I saw of him with another fighter, the styles make fights, right? So his style was more or less the same as my opponent's style, right? The guy that he fought last time. And so I wasn't really counting on him to react in the same way because my style is a lot more different, right? I'm more of like get in, get out, cut your angles, feints, and here and there a couple power shots. But it definitely helped out a lot more watching those videos.
Well, after the fifth round, I think you were more aggressive. I mean, you got him on the deal, but this, and you can help me with his name. But he was a warrior, man. He
Yeah.
took some hits.
Yeah, he did. His name was Esneth Domingo. Yeah. But yeah, within that fifth round, I kind of felt like, all right, well,
And here you can kind of watch what we're doing.
look. yeah. There's that whole get in, get out, cut those angles.
Man, he took blow after blow, and
Yeah.
and you were hitting him with power. It wasn't, you were
Right.
you were getting full punches into him.
Yeah. Yep. Almost every single round was solid punches like that. And I think that's somewhere where I was right here. That's the one right there.
Right here.
That one right there. And he did not budge. He wasn't going down. And during that time, I was like, all right, well, it looks like it's going to be a full fight, full 30-minute action.
Was that going through your head right then at that time when you were in the ring thinking about? I mean, should I save my energy because this is gonna be the deal, or just
Right.
keep coming at him?
I kept on going. I conserved my energy throughout the rounds, and I wasn't throwing so aggressive as I was in that fifth round, being that, I didn't think that he was not gonna go down. I thought he was gonna start, or the ref was gonna stop it, or the coaches in his corner were gonna throw in the towel, something. But no, he showed to be very durable.
No, he was. I mean,
Yeah.
I was, and going back, I really thought this fight here, you got stronger each
Yeah,
round. Okay,
right.
I mean, it was like, I think there's one fight that I watched that you were in the middle rounds. You were just
Right.
holding on or whatever. I think you got
Right.
hurt in the middle of that round.
Yeah.
In the deal, and you were just kind of there. But this one here is, you seemed like you were very in great condition for this fight.
Right. No, yeah. My training regimens in the mornings, because I would train 2 times. When I'm in a camp, I'll train two times a day, and I'll have my Sunday off. My Saturday, I'll just have one session, which will be a run in the mountains, or I'll be in the pool or something. But thanks to my coaches, my conditioning coach and my boxing coach via my dad, for getting me ready for that, as well as keeping my weight balanced and my nutrition, keeping my nutrition levels up, my macros and my micros. So I think that's what helped me look stronger and perform with a lot more energy in this fight.
We're going to take another break, and we're going to come back more and talk about a little bit about your future, and also about the people that have helped you get where you're at.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of Pro V Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Abraham Perez here. What a run. I mean, 14-0. It's been a great professional career. It's been a great, Olympic career. I mean, you've been all over the world.
Yeah, yep. It was a fun run during that time. And then now we're in the pros, and it's still been a good run, and we're still going strong.
And you couldn't have done it by yourself. And speak
Right.
on I know you're a very humble people, and you're very proud of the people
Yeah.
that you surround yourself with. So speak on that behalf.
Well, shoot, all the main supports come from close family, friends, and mainly my family. My dad, for sure, he's the guy who's pushed me to my, not my limits, but above my limits. He's kept me more sane, stable. He's also kept me motivated, and he's always kept me on a straight path. And he's been doing good. And this is not with any major promoter, but he's already had me, IBA, Intercontinental, and World Champion, WBC Youth World Champion, and now we're here with the IBA Intercontinental. So with my dad alone, I couldn't have been where I'm at without him or my other family and my friends.
Well, in simple words, you'd still be 14-0.
I'd still be probably 14-0, maybe 10-0.
And I mean that in a good way, because
Right.
it shows that you didn't lose a notch or anything. He's
Right.
led you, and you would have all these belts because of him. So.
Yeah, it's because of him that I'm able to have those opportunities too. And I think we work hand in hand. If it weren't for my skill level, also thanks to him taking me out when I was in the amateurs to all those national tournaments. If it weren't for him, and if it weren't for me putting in the work together, I probably would not be where I'm at right now.
And then Angel, he had to have a great influence on you.
Oh yeah, he was my sparring partner, and those weren't okay.
easy, right?
They were not easy. They're always rough, especially because he was hot during that time too. During the time that we're both amateurs, he made it actually to the Olympic Training Center. He ranked himself number 2 in the country at a national tournament, at like the last qualifying tournament. And so he was there also at some point in the Olympic Training Center. And I told him, I was like, I told myself, I was like, I'm going to meet you there. And eventually I went in, but as soon as I went in, he stepped out and he went pro.
And what a great career he had. And then I'll never forget, he went for a while and then he quit, and then I ran into him at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Yeah, you're not done." And about a year and a half, another year later, came out and he was back in the ring. So
right. Yeah. Yep. And he's still trying to get back into it. Currently, he started going back to the gym recently, so we'll see. I'm crossing my fingers that he does get back into it in a serious manner again.
Well, I think you're away from it, you miss it. I mean, you get, like you said there was a time that you didn't really enjoy it. Okay?
Right.
And then you get out of it, and then you get that fever or get that fire back into you.
Yep. And it's like once you're in it and you've experienced it and you've had a good run with it, because I've told myself this is that when I retire, I don't think I'm going to ever retire from boxing. Eventually, I'm probably going to be a coach or an official or a referee or something. I don't think it ever leaves you when you have love for the sport. When it's your passion. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You had a talk about that, and I haven't talked to you about this. So you had an incident with life, and speak on that behalf.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. 2024 was it? I believe we're coming up on 2 years from it already. I was training for a fight on ESPN. That was going to be on ESPN with Top Rank against another local fighter here. And I feel like we're going to pack the house with just me and him. Yeah. Yep. Because there was already a lot of debates, and as soon as I turned professional, I became a threat, and which was I'll take it. Yeah, that's cool. I guess. Yeah, but I guess when you're so zoned in, you forget about the recovery, and you forget about your own mental state, and so I feel like that played a big role in what happened. So I was training in the back of my parents' house. They have a pool, and I was swimming laps, and I guess they said I was probably swimming for about 2 hours. Yeah, and when you're wet and you're swimming, you don't realize that you're also sweating, and that you're also kind of fatiguing out. Exactly. Yeah. So they said I was doing underwater breathing techniques for my lungs, and as you know, I'm also asthmatic too. So like taking care of my lungs is a big thing. So I guess I was already too depleted in energy, and I was already too fatigued. I didn't even know that, and I guess I passed out underwater, and they said I was probably out for about 6 to 8 minutes underwater. And,
seriously? I didn't realize that long. So.
Yeah, that's what they said. I don't know. I was dead. But anyway, my mom, she goes in, and she pulls me out from the water. I think the max depth is around 6 feet. She pulls me out, or she goes in, picks me up to the surface. My dad pulls me out, and my sister, thank goodness for my sister, she was a vet tech at the time. She conducted CPR on me, and of course, when you do CPR, you break, good CPR anyway, you break the sternum. Yeah, right. So because you got to get through that barrier that protects the heart. She ended up conducting CPR. My brother-in-law called the ambulance, and they scooped me up, and they took me straight to the UNM hospital. And they also were wondering, like, okay, well, shoot, this guy's, like, what happened, you know? And that's what they told him, is that I was doing underwater techniques, and I passed out underwater. So with all that, I was lacking oxygen to all my organs, and my heart wasn't pumping efficiently. It wasn't pumping the blood efficiently to my organs. So they had to put me on life support to help relieve. It's a machine called ECMO. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Right, yeah.
But what that machine does is they connect it to your arteries, and it kind of bypasses the heart. It relieves the heart the pressure to pump the blood throughout your body. So it's also putting oxygen in my bloodstream, and it's just pumping it. So I was in a coma for about 3 to 4 days.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. I was bad. Yeah. But yeah, as soon as I woke up, I was already on weight for the fight. Because you're not doing anything, you're just laying there, you know. Yeah. And at that time, I believe before all that had happened, I was already weighing like 115, 116 pounds, and the fight was at 112s. And so when I woke up, we're weighing myself, and when I got discharged from the hospital about a week later after I woke up, I believe I was like 108, 109. So I lost a lot of muscle, and it was hard to start walking. But I don't know, I think the feeling about being alive was more, right. You know, it was more motivating for me to get back up. And of course there was the thought like, okay, well, am I going to be able to box again? You know, am I going to come back different? Did I lose some things? And because apparently with that machine, it promotes blood clots to your legs. So I could have lost a leg or two. And then with the lack of oxygen from what happened, I could have also been brain dead. So.
Well, everyone, we're running out of time. And hey, thanks for coming on, and look forward to your next fight. And, and I'm glad you're healthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.